I worked overtime for 8 straight weeks to afford our anniversary trip. When I got home to surprise her with the tickets, she wasn't there. A teenager handed me a note. She left with my dad. I sat down in the driveway, heart hollow. The next morning, I booked 1 ticket. Not for vacation, but for revenge. I worked 67 straight days. That's not an exaggeration. No breaks, no weekends off. Just day after day of overtime at the Ashland paper mill. I'd leave the house at 2:30 p.m. and not get home until after 3 a.m. Sometimes 4 o'clock. It was killing my body, but I didn't care. I had one goal: surprise my wife on our 7th anniversary with something real. Something better than the usual steak dinner or movie night. I wanted to take her somewhere special. So I started saving. Skipping meals. Skipping gas station coffees. Every extra dollar went into a locked box under the bed. The plan was Maui. A full week in a Rio resort. Ocean views. Couples massages. I even had one of those little activity passports, printed out and laminated with our names. I wanted her to cry happy tears when she saw it. I was sure she would. We'd been rocky lately. She seemed distracted, always on her phone, but I figured this would fix things. Reset us. It was a Tuesday night when I got the tickets. I rushed home early. For once, I left the mill before midnight. I was excited. Like a kid with a secret gift. I even grabbed flowers from the 24-hour grocery store on the way. Got home around 11:30 p.m. Her car wasn't there. At first, I thought maybe she'd gone to the store. Or out with friends. But the house was dark. No lights. I walked up, flowers in one hand, plane tickets in the other. Then I saw the neighbor kid standing near the porch. Eli. He was 15 or 16. Always kind of a weird kid, hung around our house a lot because his parents were divorced. He looked nervous. Wouldn't meet my eyes. She said to give you this, he said. He handed me a piece of notebook paper. It was torn. Crumpled. I unfolded it. It said, "She left with my dad." That's all. No. Sorry. No name, nothing. I swear I felt my legs go out from under me. I sat down right there in the driveway. The concrete was cold, but I didn't care. I just stared at those 7 words. My ears rang. My hands went numb. It didn't feel real. My wife. The woman I married. The woman I loved for over a decade. The woman I just bought $4,000 worth of travel for. She was gone. With Barry. Barry was Eli's dad. Lived 2 houses down. He was one of those midlife crisis types. Drove a black Dodge Charger with tinted windows. Always wore cologne that smelled like a high school locker room and never had a shirt on in the summer. I hated him. Always had. I thought he was a joke. Apparently my wife didn't. I sat in that driveway for hours. I didn't go inside until the sun started coming up. When I did, everything felt wrong. Her shoes weren't by the door. Her coat was gone. Our framed wedding photo in the hallway was face down. Her toothbrush was missing from the bathroom. But she'd left her ring on the counter. Just sitting there next to my razor. Like it didn't mean anything. That morning I called out of work. First time in over 2 months. I sat on the floor of the kitchen and stared at the oven clock until noon. Then I opened my laptop. I canceled one of the plane tickets. I rebooked mine. Not to Maui. To Denver. That's where she went. Eli told me. Said they were staying at Barry's sister's place outside the city. Just until things calmed down. Apparently. I left the next day. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I just packed a bag and started driving west. It's a 7-hour drive. I didn't listen to music. I didn't stop except for gas. Just sat in silence, gripping the wheel, heart thudding like a war drum. When I got to Denver, I got a room at a cheap motel on Colfax. The kind with buzzing lights and cigarette burns on the blankets. I didn't care. I wasn't there to sleep. I was there to watch. First thing I did was check Barry's Instagram. The idiot posted everything. His food. His gym selfies. His new queen. Sure enough, he posted a photo of my wife 2 days earlier. She was sitting at a bar, wearing a low-cut black dress I'd never seen before. Smiling. Holding a margarita. The caption said, "My ride or die." I wanted to throw up. But I didn't. Instead, I looked up the bar, Rusty's Tap. Small dive off Alameda Avenue. He tagged it. I drove over and sat in the lot. Waited. Around 9 p.m. I saw them. Her and Barry. They were holding hands. Laughing. I didn't cry. I didn't get out. I just watched them walk inside. Watched them order drinks. Watched her dance with him. That night, something inside me shut off. It's like a switch flipped. I wasn't her husband anymore. I was something else. I stopped being the guy who worked overtime to make her happy. I became the guy who was going to burn their whole world down. First step, Barry's taxes. I remembered him bragging once during a barbecue about how he didn't play by Uncle Sam's rules. Said he had loopholes. Cash under the table. Fake LLCs? I never thought much of it. But now, it was gold. I called the IRS tip line. Anonymously. I told them everything. Names. Dates. How he paid me in cash once to fix a fence, and asked me not to put it on record. I even emailed some consulting invoices I had from when he bragged about helping a guy move cash between states. Not sure if those were real, but they looked sketchy enough. Then I made a fake email account. Pretended to be an IRS rep, sent Barry a vague warning. Said he was under preliminary review. Just enough to make him paranoid. Next, I rented a storage unit under Barry's name using a fake ID. Inside, I put a duffel bag full of fake money, a burner phone, and a box of IDs I bought online years ago for a gag bachelor party. They looked real enough. That was all I needed. Then I called the Denver PD. Told them I overheard a guy named Barry at Rusty's bragging about moving product through a cabin in Evergreen. Gave them the address. They raided it 2 days later. Didn't find drugs? But they found the storage unit. When Barry couldn't explain it, things got worse fast. Charges started piling up. Fraud. Possession of fake IDs. Suspicion of trafficking. He screamed it was a setup. Nobody believed him. My wife? She looked completely blindsided. Like she had no idea what was happening. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she thought she was running away to a new life. A better one. Instead, she watched the man she left me for get dragged out of a cabin in cuffs. I didn't stop there. I kept going. I'll tell you what came next. But you should know, I'm not done yet. Not even close. After Barry got arrested, the news spread fast. Local channels picked it up. Evergreen man tied to fraud, possible trafficking ring. His mugshot was all over the internet within 24 hours. He looked like hell. No shirt, messy hair, confused. The way a man looks when his whole life gets yanked out from under him. I saved the image to my phone. Set it as the background for a while. My ex-wife, yeah, let's just call her that now, wasn't arrested. She wasn't tied to the storage unit, and Barry didn't drag her down with him. He told the cops she didn't know anything, and I believe that. She was stupid, not criminal. But still, she lost everything. She lost her little, fresh start, in Denver. After Barry's arrest, she tried to keep her job at a medical billing company in Aurora, but once her boss saw the headlines and figured out who she was with, they let her go. They didn't say it was because of that, but she knew. She texted her sister the next day and said she was scared and alone. How do I know that? Because I bought a burner phone and started messaging her sister from a fake number, pretending to be a woman named Ashley, from her old book club. I played nice. Said I was worried about her. got her sister talking. Easy. She told Ashley that my ex was thinking of coming back to Lincoln. Perfect. Meanwhile, Barry's legal mess kept growing. His lawyers kept filing delays, but the prosecutors smelled blood. IRS was still digging, and the Denver police were now checking his businesses. Most of them were fake or barely operating. He wasn't going to walk away from this. But I wasn't done. I wanted my ex to feel it too. Not just lose a man, but lose her own name. So I called our old landlord. The one we rented from 5 years ago, before we bought our house. I told him I was looking for references on her for a job. Just to verify her character. I knew he hated her. She left the apartment trashed, and I had to cover the damages back then. He didn't hold back. I gave that recording to a woman I hired off Craigslist to pose as an HR manager doing a background check. She called every company my ex applied to once she got back to Lincoln. And trust me, she applied to a lot. I tracked her resume through Indeed. She was desperate. She didn't land a single interview. A month after returning to Lincoln, she ended up working the night shift at a checkout lane in Walmart off 27th Street. I went in one night just to see. She looked older. Tired. Her hair was flat. No makeup. She saw me from across the store and froze. Her face turned white. I walked past her like I didn't know her. I think that hurt more than anything I could have said. That night, I parked across from the store and watched her take her lunch break. She sat alone outside, eating a sandwich in silence. I wondered if she was thinking about Maui. About the life she could have had. About the man who worked 67 days straight so she could wake up on a beach. I wanted her to regret it. But deep down, it wasn't enough. Then, something happened I didn't expect. I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a photo. It was a picture of my ex. But not recent. This was old. Probably a few years ago. She was with Barry, but not how I remembered. It was from some hotel room. She was sitting on the bed. He was standing behind her. His hand was in her hair. She was wearing my t-shirt. My stomach turned. There was no note, no explanation. Just that photo. I looked at the envelope again. The postmark said Denver. I thought maybe someone found it in Barry's place and sent it. Maybe a cop. Maybe a neighbor. Or maybe Barry had a backup plan. That's when I started wondering if this whole thing. His downfall, the storage unit, the fake IDs, if maybe I'd underestimated him. What if he smelled the setup and was trying to flip it? 2 days later, my work truck got broken into. Nothing was taken. But there was something left behind. A used cigarette butt. Barry smoked menthols. Always had. I don't smoke. No one in my neighborhood smokes menthols. It was a message. He was out. Or someone was helping him. And now, someone knew what I'd done. I wasn't safe anymore. This thing wasn't over. And I realized. I didn't start a revenge plan. I started a war. I didn't sleep much after finding that cigarette. Every sound outside made me jump. Every shadow on the wall felt like someone watching. I kept the lights on for the first 2 nights, a baseball bat next to the bed. I told myself I was just being paranoid. But then things started happening. Small things. Someone slashed one of my truck tires. Just one. Not all 4. Not a robbery. Just enough to make me late for work. The mechanic said it was a clean cut, like with a box cutter. Like it was done on purpose. The next week, someone called my work pretending to be from the Mills HR office. They asked for my file. My supervisor, Dale, got suspicious and told them to kick rocks. But now Dale was asking me why someone wanted my records. I played dumb. Said maybe it was for a loan I applied for. It wasn't. Then, one night I came home and the front door was open. Nothing inside was touched. Nothing taken. But on the kitchen table, right in the middle, was a photo of me and my wife. Our wedding day. The frame was cracked. Like it had been dropped. I never kept that photo out. It had been in a box in the basement. Whoever came in, they knew where to find it. That's when I stopped waiting. I got a gun. I started sleeping on the couch with the thing in my lap, chambered, safety on. I was sure it was Barry. Maybe he got released on bail and no one reported it. Or maybe someone he knew was doing the dirty work. A brother. A cousin. One of the guys from the bar. So I started asking around. I drove back to Denver. Went to Rusty's Tap in person this time. Sat there for hours. Eventually, a bartender, Chloe, started talking to me. I told her I was an old friend of Barry's looking to catch up. She rolled her eyes. Barry's in the wind, man. He skipped out on his court date 3 weeks ago. That was news to me. I thought he was locked up waiting for trial. Turns out, he was released on a technicality. Evidence from the storage unit had chain of custody issues. His lawyer got him a hearing. He posted bail and vanished. They issued a bench warrant, but no one's seen him since. I asked Chloe if anyone had come asking about me. She went quiet. Then she pulled out her phone. Showed me a picture. It was me. Me, parked across the street from the bar weeks ago. Watching Barry and my ex. Someone had taken it from inside the bar. From the back through the glass. Guy came in with this. Asked if I knew you. Said you were dangerous. Said you'd been threatening his family. What did you tell him? She shrugged. Told him I'd never seen you before. But maybe I was wrong. I left her a 50 and walked out. So Barry knew. Knew I was there. Knew I was watching. And now he was trying to flip the script, make me look like the threat. Smart. That's when I realized he wasn't just some midlife idiot chasing younger women. He was worse. He was a manipulator. A planner. And somehow, even from hiding, he was still playing the game. I had to change my approach. So I stopped going after him directly. I went after his weakness. His son. Eli. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But it's not what you think. I didn't threaten the kid. I didn't touch him. But I did start talking to him more. I found out he was living with his mom now, Barry's first wife, Jen. She hated Barry more than I did. Said he walked out on them when Eli was 10. Left them for a woman in Texas. Never paid child support. I told her what he did to me. Showed her the wedding photo. The storage unit story. The fake IDs. She didn't flinch. I believe every word, she said. That man could lie with a straight face while setting your house on fire. She let me talk to Eli. He remembered that night on the porch. Said he felt bad handing me the note. Said my wife promised she'd make things right. And that it was meant to be. I asked him a question. Did your dad ever say anything about a cabin in Nebraska? He blinked. You mean the one in Valentine? I felt my stomach drop. What cabin? Old one. His uncle's. They used to go hunting there. He said he might disappear there if things went bad. That was all I needed. Valentine was 7 hours from Lincoln. Way out near the South Dakota border. Quiet. Wooded. Perfect place to hide. I thanked them and left. I packed that night. Not for revenge. Not this time. This time, I was going to end it. One way or another. The drive to Valentine was long. Empty roads, wide plains, not much traffic. Just me, a loaded Glock in the glove box, a crowbar in the back seat, and a thermos full of bad gas station coffee. I kept playing every version of how this could go in my head. Would I find him? Would he run? Would I pull the trigger? Would I even have the nerve? By the time I got there, the sun was setting, throwing long shadows across the trees. The town was small. Real small. I asked around. Told folks I was looking for my cousin Barry. Said he was supposed to be at an old family cabin nearby. An older man at the hardware store nodded like he knew who I meant. Yup. Barry something. Been up at the Miller place, about 15 miles north, off a dirt road. Keeps to himself. I didn't waste time. I drove straight out there. Dirt kicked up behind my truck as I pulled onto a road barely wide enough for one vehicle. Thick trees surrounded me on all sides. Birds. Crickets. A kind of silence that made your skin itch. Then I saw it. The cabin. Old. Wood siding peeling. No lights. Smoke coming from a metal chimney pipe. Someone was inside. I parked about 100 yards away and killed the engine. Took the crowbar. Left the gun. If he wanted to fight, I'd fight. But first, I wanted him to see me. I walked up slowly. Gravel under my boots. My breath visible in the cold air. I could feel my heart beating in my throat. I knocked once. Then I kicked the door in. Barry was inside, sitting at a small kitchen table, can of chili open, spoon in his hand. He looked up, calm as ever. "I was wondering when you'd show," he said. Not scared. Not surprised. I didn't say a word. I stepped inside, slammed the door shut behind me, and locked it. He stood up slow. "Put the crowbar down, man. You don't want to do this." "You stole my wife," I said. He laughed. "Man, your wife left you before I even touched her. You just didn't want to see it." I lunged. The crowbar hit the table first, then the chair. He ducked back, grabbed a fire poker. Swung it wild. We fought like two dogs in a pit, sloppy, angry, brutal. I hit him in the ribs. He cracked me across the shoulder. We both went down hard. Then I got the upper hand. Pinned him. Crowbar to his throat. He was choking. Face turning red. Eyes wide. "I should kill you," I said. He coughed. "Spit blood." "Do it. Cops'll thank you." But I didn't. Instead, I pulled out my phone. Started recording. I held the crowbar across his chest and asked him questions. Every detail. Every dirty thing he'd done. He talked. He bragged. He admitted to setting me up. Slashing my tires. Breaking into my house. Sending the wedding photo. Leaving the cigarette butt. Calling my work. He laughed as he said it. All of it. I wanted to ruin you. I uploaded the recording to every social media platform with his name. Tagged his old clients. His family. The court. Sent it directly to the Denver DA's office. Then I looked him in the eyes. "Now you run." He stared at me. "You're not gonna turn me in?" "No. You're gonna do that yourself." I threw his own phone at him. "Call. Confess. Or I come back." I left the cabin. He didn't follow me. 2 days later, I got the news. Barry turned himself in at a sheriff's station near Norfolk. Said he couldn't run anymore. Handed over the fire poker and everything he confessed to on my phone. His lawyers tried to spin it. Didn't work. Barry's in federal prison now. Fraud. Tax evasion. Interfering with a federal investigation. Multiple charges stacked high. He's not getting out before he's 80. My ex? That part's hard. After Barry's arrest, she tried to reach out. Sent me a letter. Said she didn't know everything Barry was doing. Said she made a mistake. Said she thought she was chasing love, not wrecking a life. I didn't write back. But I didn't destroy her either. That was the final revenge. I let her keep living. She still works at Walmart. Still walks to work. And I hear people whisper when she passes. Small town shame hits harder than any court case. As for me? I sold the house. Took the Maui refund and doubled it working extra shifts. Moved to Lincoln proper. Cleaned out the old place top to bottom. New apartment. No photos. No wedding rings. Just a new bed, new couch, and a room with no memories. I still see Eli sometimes. He wrote me a thank you card last Christmas. Said I saved his mom. Said I showed him what real strength looks like. Funny. I don't feel strong. But I feel free. And that? That's better. Barry lost his freedom. My ex lost her name. And me? I got my peace. The kind you fight for. The kind you crawl through fire to earn. That was the end. But not of me. Just the part that ever loved her.